Oaxaca City is an iconic, culturally rich jewel of Mexico, where people come to enjoy the colonial architecture and world-class cuisine. But what most people don't know is that just beyond the city's horizons lies an outdoor adventure playground that's calling to be explored. This is that story. We are up bright and early this morning before the sunrise as part of day one of our 4-day ultimate Oaxacan adventure. I partnered up with a really cool adventure agency in town called Coyote Aventuras, who is going to take us off the beaten path and really get to know one of the most culturally rich and biodiverse places in Mexico. Every expedition with Coyote starts with a home-cooked breakfast feast hosted by the locals in the small villages we visit. We're spending the morning having a traditional Mexican breakfast including conchas, memelas, and quesadillas. Hierve el Agua is an iconic destination that initially appears to be a waterfall, but upon closer inspection is really a natural rock formation made up of mineral deposits that have trickled down the cliff from underground freshwater springs. We arrived first thing in the morning, just as the fog rolled in, so our hike around the perimeter felt like being on another planet. Our local guide showed us the ancient cave dwellings used by the Zapotec people, as well as their unique irrigation canal system found nowhere else in Mesoamerica. By the time we got back up to the top, the fog had vanished and we were left with incredible views of the landscape. We enjoyed a quick dip in the pools, then we were off on another hike down the valley to some less well-known spots. We passed by grazing cattle and agave fields until we reached an actual hidden waterfall. The rocks were colored with mineral deposits, once again, giving it an alien-like appearance. After that, we hopped in the car and drove to the town of Teotitlan, where another host family prepared a giant feast for us for lunch.
This is Josefina. Hola. And her daughter. And they are going to prepare lunch for us today. We're gonna have mole, traditional mole negro. I have the squash and flower blossom soup. This is very traditional soup, also from Oaxaca. Very delicious, one of my favorites. They're gonna make tortillas and they're gonna make memelas for us to try also with the squash blossom. Oh, and we have tamales also.
Wow, it's a feast.
Yes. And of course we have tenemos mezcal, ¿verdad? Sí. We have mezcal for you.
Is that also like how the mole chile is?
Yes. They actually get them up to be like this intense, and then they cut it open. They take out the seeds, and then the seeds are taken again into toasting until they turn completely black. And that's one of the main ingredients of the mole. No?
So that's what makes it black, not the chocolate.
No, not the chocolate. The chocolate adds the sweetness and the texture also. But the chiles are the main ingredient to turn everything black.
It's like a maraca. After we were done, we learned how the family continues their old school textile tradition, which included a little chemistry lesson on natural dyeing.
Esta es la lana sucia. Nosotros aquí trabajamos con la lana, ¿eh?
This is how they buy it. Okay, it's oily, has different textures, it's all tangled up.
Tenemos que lavarlo con este camote que se llama amole.
So what they need to do first is wash it. Okay?
With a plant.
Yes, a root. They wet the wool and they just scrub it up against the root, and it's just going to act as a natural soap. So once the wool is completely washed and dried, her mother, Ermelinda, she's in charge of brushing the wool. So what she's doing right now is a very easy process that is usually done by women, which is brushing the wool to align the fibers and have them on the same direction. This is going to allow them to later make it into yarn. So try doing it.
No es fácil.
See how she grabs
está
it?
fácil.
Look how she's grabbing it. You're grabbing it wrong. There you go. So Ermelinda does this for 6, 7, even 8 hours, no? And she does this this very easy task.
For some.
For some, for women.
Así queda, mire.
That's how you're supposed to finish the wool. That thin and a line. So again, it's years and years of experience. No knots. Just the pressure of the fingers.
No me dio cuenta que su dedo mueve tanto.
Sí.
She presses it together.
Es
That's
así,
how.
Oh, como así.
Yeah.
Cheque,
Okay.
mire, cheque.
Okay.
Ajá, lo vamos.
There we go.
This is harder than it looks.
I believe you.
Y se me olvidaba decirle que son 100 pesos cada cortada.
They use this parasite. This parasite takes up the carbonic acid from the cactus. So basically, it just stays there, eats up the acid, and doesn't move, doesn't fly, doesn't jump, or anything like that.
So it dyes it white?
No, it turns white because it's like its shell, its protecting layer. So what they're gonna do here is bring it down with a brush, put it on the sun to dry, and it's gonna turn out like this.
Turns out gray?
Grayish, whitish. To appreciate the colors.
Oh, it just like changes from white to like a dark purple.
Let's see if this.
Is it
Es
bleeding?
un tono así,
You know,
mire, oscuro.
remember, this insect eats the carbonic acid, and that's what's reacting to your pH right now.
This is what happens when you put lemon on it.
Whoa.
Don't clean it off. We must use limestone. Yep, there you go. That's the purple. On video here, you can see at the bottom has a set of petals, which he steps on. And every time he steps on, the strings, which are made of cotton, open. They work here usually with geometrical shapes that they call Zapotec designs.
Our biking adventure took us into the Sierra Norte mountain range to the town of Coajimoloyas.
The name? It has an interesting story for you, Kat.
Yes.
Since you like mole, this place is called Coajimoloyas, which means the mole got frozen in the pot.
But not totally frozen in the pot. Cuajar means like the process when something liquid becomes in a jello texture. So
Jelly.
the mole cuajó, so es cuajimoloyas, the mole cuajado en las ollas.
So the jelly mole.
The mole becomes in a texture of jelly because of the cold up here.
Ah.
Yes.
This village is part of a conglomerate called Pueblos Mancomunados, who are collectively working to assure sustainable logging and ecotourism projects. After breakfast, our local guide took us to his grandmother's house, who is the semi-retired healer of the village. She cleansed our spirits with natural herbs.
She uses it like that so he can take out all the bad vibes.
Oh yeah, smack that ass. And absorbed our bad energies with an egg. Here's her explaining all the evil eyes and people who spit on us energetically that she captured within the egg.
Cuando la persona tiene mucha envidia y no se escucha.
Once that was over, it was finally time to ride. To be honest, I only did this because my boyfriend Cody loves mountain biking. I've never done it before, so this was a very scary and uncomfortable experience for me. But Coyote Aventuras is all about pushing past comfort zones, so this was right on brand. It is day 3. We're leaving the hostel and we're gonna go on a climbing adventure. I'm honestly the most excited for this because we packed our climbing shoes, but we have yet to really use them in Mexico. I was most surprised to find such great rock climbing available just outside the city. As an avid climber, it's been hard to find good rock in the south of Mexico. Our final adventure brought us to the enchanted forest of Ixtepeji. I like your new toupee.
Suits you well.
It does.
It really blended in with your street shirt.
It's like eco-punk.
Eco-punk.
What I appreciate about Coyote Aventuras is that they operate by the principles of regenerative travel, which I've never really known about until now. It's about letting your values guide your adventures, but it's so much more than just sustainable tourism. It's about leaving a place better than when you arrived. That's why Coyote emphasizes visiting smaller towns around Oaxaca and including local guides and cooks, ensuring everyone involved earns a fair and sustainable wage. These adventures were exactly what I was looking for as we embarked on this 6-month journey through Mexico. However, I've encountered very few other tour agencies that operate at such a high level as Coyote Aventuras. In fact, when we first arrived in Mexico and we were in Tulum, I was downright disturbed by what I considered the hyper-commercialization and subsequent degradation of the natural environment. I found that the tours to the most well-known spots were often shallow, lackluster, and downright uncomfortable. So it felt really good knowing that the tours we went on in Oaxaca actually had a positive impact on everyone involved. In full transparency, these tours will cost you anywhere from $120 to almost $200 US. But keep in mind that this fee includes transportation, 2 meals, snacks, entrance fees, and fair wages for everyone who makes the trip so awesome. At the end of the day, you get what you pay for. So if you're looking for an unforgettable outdoor adventure unlike any other, then you'll definitely be satisfied with Coyote Aventuras. Thank you so much, Carlos and your team, for taking us out and teaching us about regenerative travel. My mind has definitely been expanded and my perspective of travel has really shifted. No matter where you go, remember that your actions have an impact far greater than your own backyard. So choose responsibly.